Hello YouTube, my name's Jason and this is Lineware. Today we are going to go into the clone method of the clonable interface. And the reason I want to go over this is because it deals with inheritance. So let's go ahead and create a new class, and we're going to call this class type. And we're going to have it implement clonable. So now we have this new class created, and now we need to go ahead and create some fields, and we're going to make them private, and we're going to give one the name skin, and we're going to give one the name mouth. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the public object clone method, and this is going to throw the clone not supported exception. So that's how that is. That throws. Okay, and it's getting an error because this doesn't have a return statement yet, but we're going to get to that anyways. So let's go ahead and create a type object clone and new type, and we're going to have this return object clone. But before we can do that, we need to create object clone. So now we're going to go ahead and say object clone dot set skin, and we're going to say this dot skin because we want it to get its value from this dot skin, and we're also going to need to do this for mouth. So let's go ahead and do that for mouth. So if you remember, the this method calls this, and the reason it's getting errors is because we haven't created our setters and our getters. So we need to go ahead and do that. All of this right here is completed. We just need to go ahead and create our setters and our getters. And how we're going to do this is we're going to do a public string get skin, and the setters and getters are basically, the getters are what you send back to your main method, and the setters are how you set the values to that type of method. So this is what this is. It's just terminology. It isn't anything more than terminology, and this is going to return skin, and we're going to create one more, and this is also going to be a string, and it's going to be get mouth, and this is going to return mouth, of course. The next one we're going to do is public void, and this is going to be set skin, and it's going to make this dot skin equal to skin, and we need to create a parameter for this. So let's go ahead and put string skin right here. So now we have a parameter for it, and now we need to create our last setter, and void set mouth. And this one's going to do this dot mouth, and it's going to make this equal to mouth, which we have to put right here as a string mouth. So now we have our new class made, which I want to throw some space in between it. That way you know this is a different class. So this is the type class. So that's how we did that. Now we need to come up here into our main method and we need to create a type object1. And if you notice, my main method has this throws clone not supported exception in it. It's going to make it where it doesn't throw anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off so you can see what it does without it. So let's go ahead and do type object1 new type. And then we're going to have to give the values to object1. And object1 has two values, right? We need to set the mouth, and we can set that to a beak if we want, or whatever you want to. And object1 set skin, and we'll say scaly. It's a scaly dog with a beak. So scaly. I think that, yeah, scaly. I'll just spell it like that. It's my program. I can spell it however I want. And the next thing we need to do is we need to create object2. So we're going to create type object2, and we're going to throw it a type because we need to make sure this is of the type whenever we create it. And what we're going to do is we're going to clone object1 to do this. So, and the way you do this is you set object1 1.clone, and that's pretty much how you do it. And like I said, you remember I said it was going to get an error, but that's because it needs to have this throws declaration on the main method. So let's go ahead and just copy this, Control C. I know I haven't gone over how throws works, but that's for a tutorial differently. We just need it for this right here in this inheritance part, and we'll go over exceptions later. So now we have object2, and it's cloning object1, so it's going to have the same exact values as object1. So now we just need to print this out on the screen. And how we're going to do this is we're going to write my skin is, and then we're going to come over here and say plus, and then we're going to say something like another plus, and we're going to say object1 dot get mouth or get skin. We're going to do get skin because we want it to have the value of get skin. The next one is say and my mouth is a, and we're going to do object1 dot get mouth, and there we go. But that doesn't really help you any if I don't show you the results of the second one. Of course it's going to print out beak and scaly for object1, right? So let's go ahead and create one for object2 as well. So now we have object2. And object2, let's just go ahead and reference it. Object2. We're going to go ahead and reference object2, and we're going to reference object1 just so we have them categorized. And when we print this out on the screen, as you can see right here, object1, my skin is scaly because right here it prints out scaly, and it also prints out scaly for object2. And then it says and my mouth is a beak, and as you can see, and my mouth is a beak for object2. And that's how you would basically set that up. That's how you use the clone method. For the clonable class, you have to give it this throws supported exception just in case it doesn't take the value. But we'll go over throws and exceptions in a later tutorial. Right now, let me just give a rundown of what we did. And this is the only part that I really need to show you. We created a type object clone that was of the new type constructor, and we gave this skin value. So we gave it this value right here, and we gave it this value right here. And if you remember, when we did the set string, we sent beak to here, and we set this skin, which is this, to this skin's value, which was sent. So we did that with the mouth as well. And whenever we did this, it just took the object clone and this skin, which was this skin, which was set by the value of set skin, and it returned all these values that were shot over here through the clone method right here. It set all these values to object clone. Then it returned object clone. So this value right here was object clone. So it had all the values of object clone, and it gave it to object 2. And that's why it all come out like that. That's all I'm going to go over in this tutorial. Thank you for watching. My name is Jason. This was Lineware. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Have a great day.